What is this?
I pretty much gave up on being like a normal person. I gave up on being accepted by the public. I gave up on living a normal life or, having a family or anything like that. I just felt like I just was not capable of that based off of my experiences that I had. I stabbed somebody and a few other things too.
This is middle school.
I probably wouldn't even say because it would too drastically alter people's perception of me. But either way, a lot of these instances where I kind of was like, okay, this is bad. Maybe it's better that I'm, quarantined in my house. I think that I've been slowly devolving into the most rude, like nasty, callous.
Why do I literally have aura? What's wrong with my camera? Because I'm not this bright. This isn't Twilight. I'm not a vampire. Why is this happening? It's grease on the lens. Okay, I gotta wipe it off.
Psychopathic version of myself. I think that I've been devolving into this. I'm not
what is this?
It's like a Dark Souls of going hollow or something. I had always assumed that I would kill myself after high school. Like, that was my plan. I've just been so afraid.
Oh, yep, that's right.
Afraid of change and so afraid of stepping outside of my own bubble.
I remember that beanie.
Like
my mom got me that.
For me mentally, I felt kind of aimless in a way. I felt kind of directionless. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing with my time.
Oh my God.
Worse than that, I felt like I was wasting my time. As a kid, I was actually very much like very conscientious, a very conscientious kid. In the way that I basically didn't really want to be perceived in a negative way.
Yeah, when I was in elementary school and middle school.
Etc.
Yeah, I remember this.
I've always had a big problem with being able to relate to other people because I think that I'm just a little bit off. Middle school as well. I care a lot about like how I looked, how I dressed, etc. In middle school.
Absolutely.
I really tried to take myself seriously.
I did.
I tried to have a good impression, etc. Do the right things, say the right things, wear the right things, be the right kind of person. It was always very scary for me to know that, my mom would die one day, right? This was extremely scary. This was like the one thing that I didn't want to have happen. I've had a lot of really bad personal shit going on in my life.
Jesus Christ, this video is fucking brutal. Oh my God.
And I've tried to keep a lot of this off stream. Last week, my mom passed away.
Holy shit!
And I'll be honest,
Jesus,
still can't
guys!
come to terms with it. I still feel like every time I say it, I'm lying.
Oh,
like, oh,
it's a trauma dumping video. Yeah,
she's just on a trip. She'll be back. I'll go into her room before I go to bed, and I'll look for her to say goodnight to her.
Oh, jeez.
Look in her chair where she would sit in.
She bought me that shirt.
There. My mom and I, it was really
or the jacket.
The two of us. My dad was there. He was supportive, and he always has been supportive. It was pretty much entirely on me. Take care of my mom, pay for things, anything like that. It was always on me. Her having this health scare was the reason why I started making YouTube videos.
Oh yeah, this is in 2013.
Because I couldn't bear to not be there and help her and take care of her. And back then, we didn't have the money to hire a caretaker or a nurse.
Yeah, we didn't have shit.
We didn't have the money to have hot water.
We didn't have hot water and we didn't have heat. Like, we were straight up living like cavemen. And we had to boil water on the stove. And we had one space heater, and I would give it to her.
I was so upset.
You had internet?
I tried.
Yeah, we had priorities. That's what we had.
If it was like my fault in a way.
Yeah.
Because I would buy cigarettes for her. I stopped really caring about anything. I stopped caring about what happens to me. I stopped caring about what happens
I really, the more I get away from it, the more farther away, I really had to respect my mom's dedication to the game. Like, she was 70 years old, chain smoking, on oxygen, eating handfuls of chocolate, just grabbing these fucking handfuls and just shoveling the shit down. Zach, we gonna get Taco Bell tonight? What do you think about some Taco Bell? Drinking Pepsis one after another, and then she's smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, on oxygen, watching Ancient Aliens, no job at all, hasn't had a job for like 20 years. 70 years old. In it for the love of the game. Unbothered completely. And even whenever she lit herself on fire with that oxygen machine, I remember they were carrying her ass out, and she said, "Man, I am such an asshole." I said, "Yes, you are. You did not. You knew you were not supposed to do." She knew she fucked up. And I remember when I saw her in the hospital after that, and I was like, that wasn't a good idea, was it? She's like, "I don't want to talk about it." I'm like, "Yeah, I bet you don't." Well, the thing is that, like, that actually, like, I mean, she was already having, like, she was already crashing out at that point, like, literally, right? I mean, like, that happening to her actually had nothing to do with her passing away. It just was, you know, it just, like, it sent her to the hospital. She had recovered completely from all the wounds and all of the trauma from that. She did. And I even had them go back because they fucked up her death certificate, and they said that it was because of the burns. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, I talked to the doctor, and they said that it wasn't. And they said it was because of smoking. Because, like, basically, it was like a big point for me that I had it to where it said that her death was caused by smoking, because I thought it was. I hated smoking. And I knew that they would use that in a statistic to show how bad smoking was. So I made them amend her death certificate to put it as, like, this person died because of smoking. That's it.
Other people, I stopped caring about what people think about me, and I felt that the more
I had to go through that.
I've cared about things, the more unhappy I've been as a person. I want to talk a little bit about my dad.
Oh, God.
Earlier this week, he passed away. It was pretty traumatic, to say the least. And I was there with him the whole time. It was just me and him. You know, I've lost my mom in 2021, lost my dad, and now it's just me.
Like, I feel like a lot of it hasn't even really set in like a big case. It hasn't really affected me. And,
oh my God.
you know, like, really, I like, yesterday I went into his house, and I just, honestly, I just cried.
I remember
right?
that.
And I'll just say it. And first time I really have in quite a while. He had pancreatic cancer. He had pneumonia 6 times.
He had 2 rows of debuffs, bro. Like, let me tell you, like, oh my God.
You know, I was there with him the whole way, all the way through up until the very end, which was very unpleasant.
I don't know if I'll ever really be the same.
Jesus!
My mom and my dad. And whenever I was growing up, they were the 2 most important people in my life.
I don't really talk a lot about, like, my feelings and emotions and shit like this, right? I'm not a big guy into getting into it, but it's been hard.
I remember waking up and, like, hearing her screaming my name.
Oh, jeez.
And for the next, like, 6 months or a year, maybe 2 years, I would not be able to sleep for more than, like, an hour and a half, 2 hours without hearing those screams in my head and it waking me up and having to go out and check to see if she's still alive. I couldn't.
Yeah, this was so fucking bad. Because so she would have, like, these episodes where, like, they never even really figured out what the fuck was wrong with her. But, like, she would have these episodes, and basically, I think they were, like, miniature heart attacks. Like, I have no idea. But it was a thing. And she would be, like, screaming my name, and I would, like, get up, and it would be a fucking panic, right? And this is when we didn't have any money. And I'd be like, you know, do you want me to call an ambulance? She's begging me not to call an ambulance because we have no money. And then, you know, like, after this happens, like, it happened like 2 or 3 times. Like, I couldn't even sleep because I would wake up every 2 hours hearing these screams. It went on for, like, maybe 6 months. Like, that shit, like, it was so hard to sleep. Oh my God. Sounds like actual trauma? Well, yeah, it was bad. Yeah, it was bad.
I couldn't get any sleep. I couldn't rest at all.
Yeah.
Anytime I would wake up, it would just be immediately a panic attack.
I would always resent and hate and be angry at my parents for the obligation that they put on me. But I'm an only child, and I don't have any other family in the state. So and they were divorced too. So I had to take care of them separately. They didn't take care of each other. And both of them, you know, had health problems that required, you know, that's why, it's one of the reasons why I never really moved out. It's one of the reasons why I didn't, like, it's one of the, there are a lot of very big life decisions that I didn't make because of them, or I couldn't make. Fortunate now that I wish I'd do anything to have it back.
And this is at the same time that we can barely pay for the house. We're worried about getting evicted from the house.
Oh, yeah.
And have heat. And so, you know, I would go to sleep and like the house would be so cold.
Did you ever talk to her? Yeah, they got along really well.
And I always viewed it as like, you know, oh, I'm sleeping out on Mount Everest. And I remember like my glass of water in my room, there would have like ice crystals on the edge of it, right? Because of how fucking cold it was. Growing
It'd
up,
be crazy
my
cold.
mom was, I think there was maybe 2 years or so where she made above the poverty level in terms of income. And so we basically barely skated by most of the time. I was having to figure out ways to make money.
She had this strategy where she would get a credit card and then she would spend all the money on the credit card. And then she would get another credit card and then she would spend all the money on that credit card. And then she would get another credit card and then she would spend all the money on another credit card. That was it. Did any of the debt hit you? No, nothing happened. Nothing happened. She died with over 6 figures of debt. Nothing happened.
And tried to like piece together money. She would borrow money sometimes from my dad.
Yeah,
and it was in general
got away
like,
with
a very,
it.
very negative situation. And so we never really had any money. You know, like I get really mad very easily. Like I'm just gonna say that, like straight up.
I think
like I used to beat my head with a controller.
What do you mean I used to? I did that like fucking 3 months ago.
I got older and I beat my head with a keyboard, and now I do a little bit of both.
Okay,
Got a lot of
that's
trouble
about right.
like figuring things out on stream, and it makes me feel
Yeah,
stupid. and I
I
get
hate
stressed
reading and learning things on stream. I do.
out. Like it
Yeah.
just sounds stupid, right? Is there something like legitimately wrong with my head, right? Like autism or something?
This
And I don't
video,
mean that in,
man.
like a negative way
What
at all.
kind-
Like,
what is
genuinely,
this
I was, like,
video?
worried. Like what the fuck's wrong with me? Like why am I not doing this right? I do have problems with anxiety. I do.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. It's a really big issue for me. And sometimes whenever that kind of
Yeah.
takes over, I don't really think very clearly. I get stressed out very easily. About a year and a half ago, I had taken an Ambien the night before.
Oh, yeah.
I'd gotten up, maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I'm walking down to the store. I feel a really weird feeling in my chest. And like my heart rate felt weird. It was the first time in my whole life that I felt mortal. Before that,
This was a
I'd
very uncomfortable period.
some teeth pulled out before then. I'd taken hydrocodone. I overdosed on the hydrocodone to the point where I was having cold sweats. I was on the ground screaming with my arms and legs going numb, my vision going away, just terrified. There was something about this moment that happened that night. It just completely changed my whole perspective.
Jesus.
Right? As I said, it was the first time in my life I ever felt mortal. Right?
Yeah, I went to the doctor. I had them do all these tests on that. That's whenever that was like one of the times I had them do all the tests. Because I was like, if there's anything wrong with me, I want to know if there is. So I went through a blood test. They checked my heart. They did all kinds of stuff, right?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I can actually die right now. And it changed the way that I looked at basically
Same shit happened to
everything.
me.
It really
Yeah.
bothered me and fucked me up. Just out of nowhere, I hear a crash.
Oh,
I
jeez.
hear glass breaking. I look up and I see like lights reflected on like the side of the door.
Yeah.
And like it's like going everywhere. I go in and the floor is on fire. Part of her is on fire, and also the thing that she had connected to her face with her oxygen machine was on fire because she was smoking with the oxygen machine on. And I don't understand it. I don't. Why?
Because she just did not give a fuck.
Why?
That's the
why
reason.
Do you do that? There's part of me.
And I'm gonna be honest. Now that I'm a little bit farther away from it, like I can see the ridiculousness of it. The fucking machine was on fire, and like there was this big oxygen tank, right? This big machine, and there was it was like a fucking Looney Tunes episode where like, you know, the fuse is going to like the bomb and it's gonna blow up. That's exactly what was happening. And I walked into the room and I stomped it out before it got to the fucking tank. I did. It was nuts. Well, no way. Yeah.
It's very.
I
angry
unplugged
at
that shit and everything.
her. I'm very upset. It didn't have to be like this. She was my best friend.
Jesus.
And I would come home and I would be so happy to see her. And she was just so precious to me and so important to me.
God damn. Bro. What a fucking video. Holy shit. God damn. And the video title is I've Lost Everyone. Oh my god. Yeah, wow. Heavy stuff? Yeah, I guess so, right? And oxygen coming, what is this here? Out of the flaming hose, spits out the fire. It's crazy. Yeah, I know. It was nuts to watch it happen, right? I just went and turned it on. And so, yeah, it's that simple. You're working yourself to the bone to keep her going? Yeah. I mean, I was doing everything that I could. I mean, of course, right? I mean, why wouldn't I? But, yeah, it's just how it is. But, yeah, why would anyone make that is my question. Why would she do it? I mean, I think people do it. I mean, I don't know why. I linked the video. I mean, it was a nice video. I mean, yeah, it was, I mean, Jesus Christ. Some of this shit was depressing, bro. Like, yeah. It's like somebody wrote your suicide. It's like ChatGPT wrote your suicide note. I like that. Yeah, there it is, right? And I guess so. The guy made an XQC video too. Yeah, I mean, like some of the stuff that I guess, I mean, I guess some of the stuff I went through like has been pretty heavy, but you know, I think everybody goes through it. I don't really ever think that, you know, like my lifestyle or life is like really that unique. I mean, everybody has their parents die, and if they don't, then what a tragedy, right? If you die before your parents do. Like then something probably horrible happened to you, right? And so it's like that's how I see it, right? And so like I just it's life, right? And it just, I mean, there are a lot of things about life. Like I remember when I was in high school, I kind of realized that, and I was just like, I would just rather fucking die, and I didn't. But here we are, fucking 20 years later. Actually, wait a minute, almost 20 years later. And I was right about everything. I was. Things turned out pretty much the way that I thought they would, which is the way I didn't want them to. And that's it. And do you feel different? No, not really. I feel about the same. Yeah, I don't really feel that much different. And thank fuck. Yeah, I know, guys. I know. And persevere regardless. Well, you have to. I mean, like everybody does. I mean, like I guess some people don't, right? But in a general sense, I think most people do, and you just have to. I mean, fuck. Like, what else can you do? And that's it. What's your feeling? You didn't have money when you needed it, and now you have more than what you want. I don't care. I didn't care about like again. Having money isn't everything, but not having it is. Like, yes, money matters a lot. I've got to take a break and like do a few other things and fucking, what do you call it? Like I need to go over to my dad's house and do some stuff over there and like make sure I do like his chores and like take care of his house. And then I need to get a couple of things done for my stream. And so that's the plan, right? Gonna cry? Am I gonna cry? Why would I cry? No, I'm not gonna cry. Why would I cry? I mean, all this happened, right? I mean, like, what the fuck? Like, it's not like it's a secret. Everybody knows this. So, I mean, if things were really going to bother me, I wouldn't share them. Like, that's the truth. And, yeah, nobody mentioned a screen tearing issue today. Yeah, but that's because it's still happening. We're going to be working that out today, too. We've had a lot of what would you really call it? Troubleshooting for that. And so hopefully we're going to be able to do that. I mean, there's still things worth living for. I think about gaming 20 years from now. Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, I don't really, you know, I just basically spend every day doing whatever the fuck, you know, like, I don't really think a lot about the future. I try not to. I think that the more that you do, the more that you kind of, I don't really even know what the term is for it, right? It's just the less I think that I'm happiest when I care about the least. Like, whenever I have anything that I really care about, then my life is bad. And when I don't care about anything, then my life is good. And that's generally how it is. Keeps me going, so much money making the game studio. Yeah, there you go, right? You sacrificed much of your life and a long time to live for your parents. Now you need to live for yourself. Enjoy the rest of your life. Well, I mean, I did. It ruined my life in a lot of ways. It fucked up relationships, decisions I was going to make in my life. It fucked up everything about my life. But, you know, that's just what happens, right? Dinosaur game today? No, I need to just start that tomorrow, right? Yeah, duty though? Yeah, of course. I mean, you just do it, right? I mean, that's it. You had to do it. I mean, like, if I didn't do it, who else would be there for them? Nobody, right? So I had to do it. You're still young. I'm 35. I mean, I don't know if I'm really that young, right? But, you know, it is what it is, right? You still care about gaming at this stage in your life? Yeah, I do. I do enjoy gaming. You're 35 with millions. You're free to do what you want now. Don't dwell on the past. But what if you don't want to do, like, this might sound very weird for a lot of people because a lot of people live with a lot of, like, by the time that I was 21, I had done everything that I had wanted to do in life. I was done. There was nothing more that I had left to do. Like, I've been high rated in World of Warcraft. I have hung out with my friends all the time. I've, you know, done everything else. Same, yeah. And so, like, I beat, I'm on like new game +3 at this point, okay? So, yeah. Same dude? Yeah, exactly. Even 2 chicks at the same time. Well, I didn't have $1 million then, so I couldn't do that. And now aim for the presidency? Well, I don't know about that. It seems like a lot of work, man. Seems like a whole lot of work. You saying you might be too old to have children? Ever thought about adoption? Would I ever adopt a kid? Probably not, no. Like, I can barely take care of a plant. I don't want to take care of a kid. Like, if I had a kid, then yeah, sure. But, like, would I go and adopt a kid? No. I mean, I would probably, if anything, I would probably just help out, you know, friends of mine and, you know, like family members with kids instead. I mean, that's probably what I would do, if anything. Do you want to travel to see places in the world? Do you honestly want my answer? I could not give less of a fuck. I could not give less of a fuck. Now, would it be interesting? Yeah, sure, it would be interesting, and I might do that, yeah. But, like, is it something that I have, like, an internal yearning for? Absolutely not. I've always just liked doing me and doing whatever the fuck I wanted, man. And that was it. Is there anything that's happened to you that changed your perspective on what you want? Yeah, so basically whenever I was in high school, I went to a high school with a bunch of, like, rich white kids. And those people cared a lot about, like, how they were seen. And I just viewed it as, like, such a pathetic, contrived, like, self-indulgent lifestyle that it completely disgusted me. And that, like, before that, I was much more materialistic. And then it shifted because I'm like, wait a minute. I thought I was like these people. These people are pathetic losers. I'm not like these people at all. And then I got switched over to another school because my dad made me go to the school. Because, you know, my dad had a lot of money and, you know, he made me go to the school and I told him I didn't want to go. He said he didn't care. And I was like, okay, well, if you don't care about this, I'm just going to fail every single class. And if you don't take me out, I'm going to kill myself. That was the ultimatum that I gave him. I was 14. And at first, he didn't really take it very seriously. But then I did fail every single class. I got a 0. Like, my GPA was a 0.08. Yep. And I was like, okay, well, because, you know, the idea is that, you know, my dad taught me that if you want to change somebody's behavior, you have to figure out why they're doing something and take it away. So I looked at it and I was like, okay, well, you're doing this because you want me to be successful. So if I am so dramatically unsuccessful, then you will have to stop doing this because it will not be achieving your goal. It worked. It worked. I got to go to the school that I wanted to. They took me out. I got everything I wanted. That's right. Your GPA was that high. Yeah. Yep, there it is. And it worked. And using his magic against them. Yeah, exactly, right? And yeah, just Saudi for Middle East trip. Or more or less tourist destination places. Probably go to like 3 or 4 different countries. I'd love to go to Saudi, Dubai, maybe Qatar. I mean, I don't know. Like, I got a friend that lives in Syria. He's got family in Syria. Maybe go to Syria. That'd be nice. Bro, I had an athlete's GPA, didn't even play a sport. I did. It was called World of Warcraft. But I guess back then it was Halo. I played Halo then. And, yeah. They don't allow gays, though. Ah, I guess I can't go, man. Ah, geez. That's too bad. That was bad. I started listening a couple months ago. Yeah, yeah. And, but no, that's what it was. And so, like, that did change my perspective a lot on, like, what I wanted out of life. And, like, before then, I cared a lot about, you know, like, expensive stuff, etc. But then after, like, kind of seeing that at its, like, you know, at least not even a conclusion at that point, but, like, at that point, I was like, wow, these people are total losers. Like, I don't want to be like this. Yeah. Well, in high school was rough because I looked forward to raid nights, but I hated school so unbelievably much. I loved high school after that. Like, I did. Like, I never cared at all about doing well in school. I never cared about... The only thing that I cared about was taking advantage of as many systems as possible, stealing things out of the school, making money from being at the school by selling things at the school, and then hanging out with my friends. Like, the schoolwork was all, like... That's why I would never skip school. I never skipped school. Not once. Because I really never was there. I was never really there to begin with. Yeah. Do you know what your parents would want you to do with your life? Donate to charity or a church, anything else? Yeah. They'd probably want me to probably have a kids and family and, you know, be religious. My mom would want me to do that, for sure. But, yeah, I mean, to me, like, I think about that. Actually, I'm going to be honest. I never think about that. I don't. What my parents wanted for me, that's not up to them. Because I'm me and they're not me. So why would I even consider what they wanted? Just straight up. It would never even cross my mind. Yeah, gay way of thinking? Yeah, maybe, right? But, like, out of respect for them? Well, my respect for them is that I have to do what they want me to. Where's the respect for me? No, I'll do what I want. That's it. And heavy stream, I don't think is it really that big of a deal. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, to me. Don't you want a hot tub though? I hate hot tubs. I hate them. I don't like the way they make me feel. I don't. But yeah, I honestly really love school. You know, I loved elementary school. I loved middle school. I loved high school. Like, I never had any problems in school. I always had a lot of friends in school too. Like, would I say I was popular? I wouldn't really say I was popular. But, like, everybody in, like, my grade knew me. Not everybody, but a lot of them knew me. And, you know, people... I had a large friend group, etc., right? And so that was it. Yeah, infamous. I mean, there were a lot of infamous situations for me in school. Well, high school? Yeah. What's one thing you want to do or try? I don't know. Yeah, I have to really think about it. Yeah, did you get boontang in high school? No, absolutely not. I didn't have a girlfriend in high school, like, pretty much at all. No. No, I don't know if you could have predicted that, but no, not so mumuch. Didn't you become a streamer? What job or career would you have had? I was going to go to law school. I was going to go to law school, and I had, like, a 3-point, like 8 or a 3.7 or something like that. And so I should have been able to get accepted into the UT law school because I didn't want to move. And that was like counting in, again, that was like counting in some of my early community college classes I had taken, like right whenever I graduated, that I got like C's in. So like inside of like the actual business school classes, I had like 4.0. That's not true. I got a B in one class. But other than that, you know, I had very, very high grades. And so I was going to go to law school, but then I was like, okay, well, fuck this. Was working for the IRS interesting? Yeah, I loved it. Because lawyers can legally lie. The reason why I wanted to be a lawyer is because I played Magic the Gathering, and my friend knew all the rules, and he could manipulate the rules to make him win. And I thought that lawyers could do that in real life, and they could cheat everybody. And I thought that was the most effective way to effectively win the game of life, is that if you knew all the rules, you would know how to manipulate every situation in your advantage. And so that was the reason why. Like, there's no legal reason or, like, moral reason. It was just, like, I thought this was, like, the most effective skill set to take advantage of the most situations possible. Yeah. That's it. And that's why the rich have, like, 20 lawyers. Yeah, exactly, right? Was UT hard to get into? Yeah, I mean, the law school there had, like, a 3.75 GPA average to get into. Or it might have been a 3.7 at that point from, like, transfer students. So, yeah, it was pretty hard to get into. And, you know, Baylor was about the same. But, I mean, like, that was an average, too. I mean, like, obviously, it means half of them were below that. What do you think about the way society is heading? Well, I don't know about that. Yeah, it's a lot. Would you be a prosecutor or a defense lawyer? I don't know, really. Like, I looked at it as, like, kind of having a degree to... Like, the degree was a tool, right? I didn't want to have a job. I never wanted a job. So, like, I would just simply use this degree to generate money. How would I do that? I don't know. Would you backflip on trampoline? No, because I'm not very good at that. Yeah. Ever thought about being a cop? Yeah, my dad said I wasn't allowed to be a cop. He says, we're the other guys. And I'm like, okay. And I was like 11 at the time. 10 or 11. And so, yeah. That was the only thing that I was not allowed to do. Could not be a cop. That was it. Just become a crooked cop? I mean, no, bro. Like, fuck that. Actually, educated people think you're dumb as a rock. It doesn't matter. I mean, who cares what somebody on the internet thinks? It doesn't make a difference. It's irrelevant. Too scrawny to be a cop? I mean, you could work out and eat more food, right? I think almost anybody could. Cops is the highest rate of domestic abuse among all professions. I don't blame them. You know, like, being a cop is really hard work, and I think that they get hated by society a lot, and I don't think they get paid enough money for the amount of shit that they have to deal with. It's horrible. Like, I would never want to be a police officer. Did your dad ever tell you to join the military? I was not going to go out there and go to the Middle East and die over oil. Not going to happen. How'd your father make his money? My dad was, this one is so long ago that I think I can say it, is that after he got out of the military, anarchists and other types of people like that would pay him money to teach them how to make bombs and other types of explosives. And he would help them do that. And that was like, and this was like, you know, there were like, so there's two different professions, right? And, holy shit. Yes, exactly. This is allegedly, but this was like back in like the 70s. So very, very, very long time ago. And, what year was this? It was like 1970, early 1970s, as far as I know. And then also, like, he even tried to join these, like, private military mercenary groups. Like, apparently he had to lie on his, what do you call it? He had to lie on his, like, military intake form because they weren't going to take him because they said he was, like, a psychopath. Because they were gonna station him stateside because there were a bunch of, like, protests going on, like now. And they said, would you ever fire on an American citizen? He said, if somebody throws a brick at me, I'm going to shoot them in the face and kill them. And then they sent him to Vietnam. Straight up. And so it was around the Vietnam War? Yeah. Yeah, his psych evaluation. He has a lie in his psych evaluation. And, so that's why I found funny, you know, people saying, like, oh, your dad would be disappointed in you saying this, like, oh, if only you knew. And so, anyway, so that, yeah, he was what do you call it? He was in the army, and then he tried to join, like, a private military, and then he was a truck driver and a painter, and then he was also a college professor, and then, you know, these are all the legal ones, and I think there was one more that I'm just not thinking. Oh, a writer, and then he worked at a publishing company and worked his way up. A painter? No, not a painter. My mom did painting, but, like, my dad never did. And then he worked his way up to a publishing company, and he was an executive by the time that he retired. So, yeah. Were there more illegal ones? Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 more. What did he teach in high school? Or in college? He taught English literature, grammar, and, like, just basic English, and also statistics. They did shoot protesters when the Vietnam War was going on, by the way. Yeah, I know. That's why they asked them, because they didn't want it to happen again. That was the whole point. Yeah, they were like, oh, Jesus. Like, well, we don't like this because it was a big problem, right? And so they're like, well, we don't want to have this happen again. So they're like, they just ask him, like, would you shoot him? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, you're not going to be here. Yep, you're gone. Why can't you spell if he taught you English? Because he taught me English, not spelling. He used to yell at me all the, like, it was so traumatic, honestly. Like, him trying to teach me spelling, and it never worked. He never taught me spelling. It never got any better. And what's your dad's highest rank? I don't know, actually, if you want me to be honest, but it was an enlisted rank. He wasn't an officer. Did you ever talk about what it was like after he got out of Vietnam? Did people hate him and stuff? Yeah, they did. They did hate him. Yeah, he even said he was jealous of the Iraqi vets, that, like, everybody wants to shake their hand at the airport and everything and say thank you for your service, because, like, he never got that. Like, they even told him, like, to take off all your military stuff, and, you know, that was it. How many kills? Oh, he apparently killed a lot of people. Like, I mean, he loved doing it too. Like, he would tell me, like, all the time. He's like, if I could do anything, I would go back to Vietnam. It was my favorite time in life. Yeah, he was so happy doing that. Dad's got nostalgia. Yeah. Like, other people get PTSD, he got nostalgia. Like, I mean, there were times he said he got PTSD whenever he had just came out. But, you know, that kind of went away. And that was about it.